All right, cool. So welcome everybody to Weekly Market Open. This is a call I host every single Sunday, and it's an opportunity to get ready for the week, right? So today, I'm going to kind of take you through a process of, what kind of fundamentals am I looking for? What are the kind of the first things I'm looking at on the chart itself? My trading style is very based around the dollar and using smart money concepts, right? So I'm gonna take you through like a whole A to Z process on how to really get ready for the week, right? So as you guys see here, right, this is my call today on Sunday. I do the market outlook. We have literally like Monday through Friday, we have trading calls, right? Two on Monday and Friday. Sorry, three on Monday, with Will, with Vinny. We have a market outlook in the middle of the week. So we just got a complete system, right? On top of, I hope you guys are seeing everything that's going on with the academy, all the updates we just had, the packages that, have just combined. So now we have more tools than we already had. And it's super lit, right? But even within Powerhouse itself, you guys are well covered, right? We're going to make sure you start the week off right today. So if you're ready to get started, let me just get some twos in the chat for everybody that's on the Zoom call with me, and let's run it. So we are it is September 10th, right? So second week of September. Let's start with the news like we usually do. We like to look at the high probability, high volatility days coming up this week. And as you can see here, right, these are the red folders for the pairs that I trade. If you guys want to, kind of just see real quick, the only one I'm not really trading is the Chinese yen or the Japanese yen, to be honest. But all these other ones, mainly, like I said earlier, based around the dollar. And what I like to look for is like what is the key event or series of events that are going to happen this week as far as fundamentals go, because the price action is going to kind of line up according to that. You know what I mean? So for example, this Wednesday, the main event and like literally like the main thing to focus on this week is going to be CPI for the dollar, which is going to happen at 5:30, sorry, on Wednesday, right? So this is what you can expect, right? And I did this today. I'm going to start doing this. I already, dropped my markups inside of uh the Powerhouse channel for sure, some of my free, telegrams and stuff like that. But what I'm really going to start to do is kind of keep a record of this right here, right? So we have our trading journal. If you don't have this already, right, I got this from Mike Nav, and it's just a way to track every single trade. Now, what I'm doing, moving forward is going to be these weekly outlooks, right? So I'm gonna also use this today to kind of go through with you guys, kind of like that step-by-step process, right? So the fundamentals for this week, right, as we just saw with the Forex calendar, I kind of just took a screenshot. But being that it's USD CPI week, um, we're gonna expect a Monday and Tuesday, pretty much like a consolidation. The purpose for the beginning of the week is gonna be to build liquidity, or just get people to participate inside the market. Probably on both directions. So you might see setups that are looking good on both sides of the market. We might see literally nothing set up until Wednesday. We'll have to see. But usually, in my experience, and not just for myself, but some of the people I follow, whenever there's a high impact event on Wednesday, Monday and Tuesday is technically built to kind of generate that liquidity and that kind of thing, right? On Wednesday, we'll have the high volatility event, which is usually going to create the high or the low of the week. You can expect manipulation to happen during that time. So if you just kind of picture it, right, Monday and Tuesday is going to give you like some sideways movement, just consolidate. On Wednesday is when we'll get like a run to the buy side or a run to the sell side. And, we can expect that to be the high or the low of the week. And then on Thursday, and usually Friday as well, but, I'm mainly focusing on Thursday, is going to be that expansion, right? Wherever, like, let's just say, for example, dollar goes in and manipulates to the upside with news on Wednesday, and then it immediately starts to shoot down. Then on Thursday, we should be seeing some continuation plays kind of in that same direction. I know I'm kind of just like trying to paint a picture here, and I'm not really on the charts yet. But before we get into the charts, you know what I mean? This is just kind of how I'm starting to get an idea of how the week can play out, right? If you're kind of jumping into a new trading week with not a lot of bias, right? You might kind of wake up in the morning and be like, oh, my bias that I just built 5 seconds ago when I just woke up is what's going to happen today. And it's just a good idea to kind of have a roadmap. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean it's going to play out this way exactly, but just what to expect. You know what I mean? So those are the fundamentals. From there, I look at the dollar, and then I have my trading pairs, right? So these are all kind of setups that I sent out in the FRX channel earlier, and the ones we're about to go over here together right now. But I just wanted to use that as kind of like the template, so you guys can see the order. It's fundamentals. Then I go into the DXY itself. As you guys know, the DXY is not a pair you can trade. So, not a lot of people like to do their fair amount of analysis on DXY because they're like, bro, I mean, I can't even trade DXY. Like, why would I even spend time looking at this? You know what I mean? I'm only going to look at the pairs that are going to make me money, which is valid. I mean, I feel that. But what you got to understand is wherever the DXY is reaching for is going to dictate every single market you're going to trade, right? Even if it doesn't have USD in it, to some extent, whatever the reserve currency of the, especially if you're trading Forex, right? Whatever the reserve currency of like the world, right, is doing is going to affect everything else, right? So this is the setup I sent. This is something we were looking at last week. So last week, where's Sunday? So we were somewhere down here, right? We had just kind of like took out some of this market structure here, and we were starting to retrace. We were wanting to see if we were going to get a deeper retracement or if we were going to keep moving up. Right now, actually, the market I was looking at was here, and it's interesting that it is off by just a little bit. If you look at the two charts, so I'm going to use the one that we looked at last week, right? So when we were kind of down here in this pullback, we said, okay, we're either going to get a deeper retracement inside of this bullish range, which is definitely, I mean, I think we can all agree that this is a very bullish market. We're kind of expecting a retracement, right? But it was either that or we ran, to level number one would have been this daily body gap that I had lined out. And you can see that we did exactly that, right? This is the daily, but if I go like, let's just look at a 15-minute real quick. Look at the reaction we had off of that area, right? So off of this reaction, right, as soon as we got in there, we started to immediately form a little bit of a counter trend, at least on these smaller time frames. But it's definitely there, right? It's definitely pushing away from there. Is definitely showing some signs of rejection. So that was our target literally from Wednesday. And we came up in there on, not until Thursday, but it happened. You feel me? So that was good. I did catch some plays just off of that reaction, right? Which we'll take a look at right now. I still think personally, right, that we're going to run for this weekly high point here. Right. Let's just stay on the daily. But, we've been looking at this downtrend, right, from this high to this low, lower high. This was kind of equal low liquidity, right? Not necessarily a lower low, but it was equal low liquidity before we actually managed to get down and trade through that. And now the fact that, what I'm playing here, like basically just to kind of keep it simple, is going to be this weekly range, right? So from this high down to this low. So this is that last area where I could possibly see us react from. You know what I mean? We did get a reaction already, and then notice like what happened on Thursday, how Friday tested all the way down here, but then pulled back. And then we get a weekly or a daily gap today, right? So we are definitely seeing that reaction already. Now, how much of that reaction will we see is what I'm trying to see. But overall, long term, I do expect us to go and run this high, right? So CPI week, we could definitely, be, bullish enough within these next 2 days so that on Wednesday we go up and take this high. That'd be kind of like my main target. Now, we're always looking at both sides of the market, right? So if I go 4-hour and I just kind of study this bullish range that we're in, what I did here, and shout out to whoever made this decision, not just Chris Terry himself, but whoever just put TBX and FRX together did everybody a huge favor, right? I've talked about it a few times where I was on TBX for a little bit, just studying Valentino and his market structure. So now y'all don't have to, get the empowered pack. Y'all don't have to switch from one package to another. It's all going to be included. You're going to be able to study this market structure that I've been preaching, bro. I don't know if John's on here, but he started watching it. He's told me that he's definitely seeing um, a lot of clarity, and I'm gonna keep recommending that to you guys, right? So watch Valentino's boot camp on it's the FRX channel now, but what I'm doing here, based off of his teachings, is validating the market structure, right? So we all know what market structure looks like, and this is going to be a quick lesson here. Like this is like the short price action lesson for the day, I guess, right? We all know what market structure looks like, right? We all know to read like these higher highs, higher lows, right? Inside the market, like these swings, these pullbacks, that kind of thing. When it comes to validating market structure, guys, is like, I know we can all see it, you know what I mean? You're like, of course, like I've been looking at the charts for, a couple months, couple years now. I know we can all see it, just by just our experience and training our eye. But when you validate market structure, fam, like literally setting a set of rules to where now you don't have to just kind of guess, oh, is this the low, or is this the low? Is this the valid higher high? Like there's literal rules you can use to tell you which market structure points are valid, right? So that's what I did here. These are all my valid 4-hour pullbacks, right? So that's why I drew my trend like this, right? There's an impulse, valid 4-hour pullback, impulse, valid 4-hour pullback. This is all just one impulse. That's what I'm trying to say here, is like none of this stuff is a valid market structure point, at least on the 4-hour. Okay, according to the rules. It is, obviously we know that it's fractal, right? So if it's not a valid 4-hour like here, it's probably going to be a valid 1-hour pullback, right? And there's a big difference, right? So at least on this 4-hour, this is what the market structure looks like, right? It's low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So right now, because this is the most recent higher low, that's our current range, right? That's our current 4-hour range for the dollar, is going to be from this wick, right, all the way up to this wick, right? So now if I'm looking to be bullish, right, what I'm going to expect is a move down here inside of a discount territory, right below the 50, hopefully below the 618. And I'm liking this area right here. I'm going to go down to the 1-hour for just a second to show you guys what I'm looking at here. But this would be my area that I'd be looking to, start to play the buy side again, right? Because we understand that we're in that 4-hour bullish structure, right? We can see the most recent market structure point. That's where I got my fib. So now we're like, okay, cool. We just need that discount if we plan on continuing up, right? So let me go to the 1-hour just to kind of show you guys what's there, right? And if you study smart money, this is something that should be fairly obvious to you, is this 1-hour candle, right? So I'm looking at the bodies of this candle that did something very specific, right? So number one is swept this liquidity. I don't have time today, fam, to like really go through a whole like technicals lesson, because it's kind of a little bit of everything today, right? So I can't go into detail on a lot of things, but this was a pocket of liquidity that got swept, right, to the sell side before the market continued up. Like I explained last week, why liquidity is important, why these institutional movers need to take liquidity and need to take people out of the market in order for these moves to be able to happen. But here's an example of that, right? There's the manipulation we like to look for. There's that sell side liquidity that got swept, and then the expansion from there. So this is my area of mitigation. As you can see, there's a lot of imbalance in that area as well. I don't got to mark it up, but that would be what I'd like this market to return to, right? There's my valid 4-hour, right? There's that last 1-hour candle. So something, let's just say we start the week bearish, right? And then on Wednesday, we get like a spike through, maybe a manipulation somehow, but then we come back into this range and we start to play towards the buy side again. Or the other scenario is going to be, we continue a little bit bullish, but really go nowhere. And then come Wednesday, we take out that weekly high that I was looking at over here to over there to the left. But let's just say we kind of set up so we could see a buy side manipulation, and then that's when we start to get a good retracement, right? As far as like this 4-hour range, right? Because we can see that we are due for a retracement on the 4-hour, right? So what we need to see first is 1 hour breaks the structure to the downside, I personally think if we are going to give a nice reaction, we would come up and take this high first, right? We would take this liquidity and then start to show signs that we're ready to retrace inside of this range. So I know it went pretty quick there, but that's what I'm looking at for dollar. Those are my two possible scenarios. So I want you guys to understand something, right? When you start to look at the markets on a Sunday or whatever it is, if you do it on Saturday, whatever, and you start to form some sort of an idea, right? You start to form some sort of like bias, or you start to outline a couple areas that you might be looking to anticipate this week. It doesn't mean that like what you're not doing, and this took me a little bit of time and experience to understand, is you're not going in there to try to find what side of the market is more probable and just marrying that side and like literally only looking for setups that confirm your biases. You know what I mean? What you want to do is kind of look at the market with zero, um, I guess zero like, you know, intention, I guess, or with zero expectation, I guess is the word from it. And just like literally look at what the price action is telling you, right? To me, right, we're either going to come up and take this high before we start to go lower, or we're going to start the week off and find a nice area where we can continue up from, right? You literally set both scenarios and you're ready for both of them. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my bias with the dollar. I'm gonna move on to the trading pairs here with USD CAD. We looked at this last week as well, but I've been waiting for this area, right? Just like with the dollar on the daily, we were waiting for that daily body gap, right? Sitting inside of this weekly range. Same thing on CAD, right? We're looking at the market. This is where we were at last week, somewhere in here. We were looking at this as our target, and we didn't necessarily spend a lot of time up there to where we would have been able to catch a sell, to be honest. Like I didn't really like look at that. We didn't even tap into it really. You know what I mean? We barely almost got there. But check this out. I'm gonna break this down on CAD, right? 4 hour, right? Just like on dollar, we're very bullish, right? We see valid 4 hour structure here and valid 4 hour structure here. This was a valid structure at one point, but since it already got swept, then this is the open structure point that's valid. So that's where I'm working off of, right? Other than that, none of this is valid 4 hour. I already back tested it. There's valid 1 hour pullbacks, but there's not valid 4 hours. So if you're confused, I do recommend you guys go watch that boot camp. If you have any questions, let me know, like as far as how to access it or whatever. But because this market is very overextended, right, on the 4 hour, we can expect what? A pullback, right, on the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, and let's just focus on, we can agree that we need a pullback. Like if I was measuring my fib from this low all the way up to the highest high, we haven't come anywhere near 50%, right? So we can all agree that we need a pullback this deep. But even if I focus on just my most valid structure point, which is this one, right? That's my 4 hour structure. I'm gonna go down to the 1 hour just for a little bit more detail. But even if I focus on that structure right there from this low to this high, right? Even here, we're still looking for some sort of pullback below the 50. And ideally inside of this gray zone, right? That's our mitigation zone. So this is where we'd like to basically target on USD CAD, right? So check this out. This is why knowing what time frame that structure is important in, because based off the 4 hour, right? If the 4 hour needs a retracement, then there's going to be a 1 hour downtrend that's going to take us into that retracement, right? So I hope that makes sense. I know I'm going a little quick, but if my valid structure on the 4 hour is this low to this high, right? We already did expansion, right? What comes after expansion? Retracement. So for this 4 hour to retrace, there's going to be a 1 hour, there's going to be a 15-minute downtrend that's going to take us down there, right? So check this out, right? On the 1 hour, we just changed character, and I'll show you guys why like this is important here on the 15. Like all this stuff right here, I'll show you in just a second. But as far as like the 1 hour, right, our structure was here, 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 here. These actually, all these were valid structure points. I just picked the lowest one, right? So there, and then there, right? So after we got a body close below these bodies, that's what we call a change of character, right? So whenever the 1 hour changes character, letting us know that the 1 hour is ready to go on this bearish downtrend. That's only a retracement on the 4 hour, right? So a whole ass like like in one 4 hour candle, for example, there's a whole 15-minute downtrend. You know what I mean? In a 1 hour bearish candle, there's a whole 15-minute, 5-minute downtrend inside of that one candle. So as we understand, it's all fractal, right? The first sign that based off this 4 hour, this market is ready to go into retracement mode, right? Is that we already got a body close beneath this low, right? So let's go to the 15 and let's look at kind of what that looks like, right? So now that we got that 1 hour break and close below, right, we can start to see this 15-minute forming this downtrend, right? We're forming now what's this downtrend, right? So now we're expecting that next retracement up into this area right here for that to take us down and give us that 4 hour retracement that we're looking for. I know I'm going a little fast, fam, but I mean, if you guys are following me, then you guys are definitely learning something today, right? If you're a little bit lost, that's okay. You know, the education is there for a reason, right? It's recorded videos. You guys have access to it 24/7. So it's up to you to go in there and really like study the concepts. But if you could follow along with me right now, I hope this is of value to you, right? So based off the 4 hour range from this lowest low to this highest high, we're expecting that retracement, right? So that 15, that 1 hour is what's going to give us that downtrend to take us down there, right? That's why, like, once you start to get a good understanding of what kind of range you're in, right? Whether it's a 4 hour, 1 hour, daily, you understand that, okay, cool. Like, in order for the daily to give me a retracement, the 4 hour has to break structure first, right? And that 1 hour is really going to form that downtrend. So that's where you're going to find those setups. Okay. So now if I just focus on, we already looked at the fact that on the 1 hour, we got to break and close below this low, right? We got to break and close below this structure point here. So now we're in a bearish market structure on the 15, right? So if I'm looking at the 15 here, how did this range start? Well, there was a candle right here. If this is a little small, I'm sorry. I know, I hope you can see, but there was a candle right there that swept buy side liquidity, right? This candle took out 8 hours worth of liquidity to the buy side, right? That was a manipulation, right? If it doesn't look extremely easy for you to see yet, then you haven't watched the boot camp enough times, right? But there's that manipulation, and then that's what gave us that change of character to the downside, right? That we're looking for. So when that manipulation happened, there was an imbalance that was left on the 15 right here. If I measure from that high all the way down to the lowest low of the range, that imbalance is sitting right around the 886. So that's going to be a good place to enter. But even here, right, this is a interesting point right here, right? Because on the 1 hour or even just the 15 itself, if you look at this candle, fam, this last up candle that really took us, you know, down here, right? As you can see, after this up candle, there was no more like there was no place for buyers to get inside the market. It was just a one-sided melt to come and run and take these lows, right? So that last up candle is very interesting. Another reason is very interesting is because, I mean, was it, I think 30-minute, let me see. Yeah, so look at even the 30-minute candle, right? This candle right here is a clear example of an order block, right? Not only is it the last up candle before the down push, but that candle is sitting inside of an imbalance, right? This wasn't as easy for me to see before. And I know I got a few drawings on here, but this candle right here, you see its wick is sitting inside of an imbalance, right? So this market should technically come up and mitigate this candle that's sitting inside this imbalance, and then it's going to take us down, right? I took it all the way down to the 30 to the 15 to kind of show you guys the breakdown of this range. And we're all remembering that this is a 1 hour change of character to take us into a 4 hour retracement. So I know I'm going a little bit quick, fam, but do me a favor, give me some fours if you guys are following along with me. I mean, I'd hate to just be on here talking to myself, you know what I mean? But if you guys are with me, you know, if you guys are looking at the market structure, you're following with me, you know, and I know it's a little bit fractal and it's kind of a lot, but you know, we're in the best trading community. So I expect you guys to be able to understand what I'm saying. So that's kind of like literally how I trade, right? You saw me at the end of it, just find that one candle, started to talk about imbalances and that kind of thing. But my whole trading style, fam, is based off of market structure, right? And I don't care what strategy you trade, right? It doesn't matter if you're trading, break in and retest, or, just a straight up breakout, or if you're trading whatever it is, as long as it's not indicator based, right? And as long as it's not like fundamentals based, if it's a technical strategy, right? You're looking at actual patterns inside the market. Before you even get into the strategy, you have to be aware of market structure. Like, I don't care what you're trading, you know what I mean? So my whole analysis is just based off of what kind of range we're in, the phases of the market, as far as like accumulation, distribution, impulses, retracements. And it might sound like very complicated, but is actually very simple, right? It's all market structure. We use the smart money concepts to kind of just give us those sniper entries, or just to kind of narrow down an area to enter, but it's all based off market structure. What's that, Euro USD? All right, cool. So we're getting a little test of Euro. GBP coming into my area as well. All right, cool. We'll take a look at those. But USD CAD, right? Jeez, me and Bavik went off at the same time. Yeah, that's how you know. USD CAD, we just went over. USD CHF, not going to spend a lot of time on it, but same kind of thing, right? We're in a place here where we're expecting this market to continue to be a little bit bullish, right? If I'm expecting dollar to go and take that weekly high, then I could definitely expect USD CHF to come for these equal highs, tap into this last up candle, right, before we start to see some down movement. Just to kind of look at this bullish range in a little bit more detail, there's my valid structure points again, right? So here's my valid 4 hour, here's my valid 1 hour, right? So just very quickly here, like if I'm in this 4 hour range, right, and it's very extended from this high, right, all the way up, or from that low all the way down to this high, we can all agree that we have not yet, ever since we made this high, we have not yet tested the 50%, right? So we need a retracement. That's just how it works, right? So in order for this 1 hour to give us a retracement, right, in order for the 1 hour to do this, is going to look like one move down here on the 1 hour. But what's the 15 going to look like, right? The 15, there's going to be an entire downtrend on the 15-minute that's going to take us down there, right? That's all I'm trying to say with these different, market structures tying in, and that type of stuff. Let's look at a quick chart right here from, I believe it's Bavik. Yep. Same thing, bro. Same thing. That's that last up push. That was the high of the week on Friday, I believe. Manipulation move, right? He's measuring high to low. Just waiting for that retest. I'm going to show you guys a lot of detail on that right now in just a second. But you guys feel me here where I'm saying, like, okay, cool, there's a 4 hour range that needs a retracement. The 15 is what's really going to take us down there, right? So whenever we do get down here, I'm not really going to try to play the sells. I'm more on the buy side, as we all can agree on the higher time frames. But look at this on this 1 hour, right? Look at this 1 hour manipulation candle, right? Look how intentional this candle was to take out liquidity and then explode to the upside. Pocket of liquidity right here with these equal lows sitting right at that area. So this is something that's definitely, in my opinion, going to give us some sort of, man, that one is going to give us some sort of retracement to get us down here beneath these equal lows and mitigate this candle, right? So we're gonna, come down here. Whenever we start to see the market slow down, give us that change of character to the upside, then we just wait for that, ideal entry off of the same things, right? And we start to kind of play this area, targeting these higher time frame areas to the buy side here. So I hope that's making sense, fam. I know I'm going a little quick. Cool. So that's USD CHF. That's what I'm looking for. You guys have these Marcos, by the way, right? What's happening on the other side of the market, right? So we just went through the US dollar, which is the first thing I look at. Then we went through the US dollar pairs, right? So USD CAD, USD CHF should be kind of moving in that same direction. If USD is looking to reach above this high, then so should these two look to continue to reach higher, right? So on the other side of the market, right, we're in a very interesting place. If I go to the daily, right? Just very quickly here, the daily market structure is what? Bullish, right? It doesn't take too long to see it on this one. So we're seeing a impulse retracement, kind of like an equal high setting here, internal liquidity sweep, right? So really, this is what it looks like, right? This is what the daily structure on Euro looks like. And this is ever since like literally a year ago. So here's 1 year of price action on GBP, right? On the daily. So once we know that, then we focus on our most recent structure point, right? This is the most recent daily low right there, right? So when we look at that, I go to the 4 hour and I just mark up a fib from that daily low, right? Daily low all the way up to that high, right? So we're inside of this bullish daily range, right? We're in a very interesting place because we're already down here in the 786, 886 level, right? So what I've been trying to see is where are we going to kind of start to slow down and start to see that break of structure to the upside to really continue this daily. I mean, we can all agree, right, that the daily is bullish, right? And we can all agree that we're in a key area right here based off of this high to, or sorry, this low to this high. We're in that 786 area, right? So this is where we can already start to expect some swing buys. Angela, if you sent your chart, I don't think I've got it yet. Oh, wait, you did. My bad. Let me see it. Gold, same thing, same thing. Um, I know for a lot of you guys, with that still need to train your eye a little bit more, different colors, different, markup strategies might take you a little bit longer to just kind of like see the same thing in all these different markups. But as soon as I saw this, I could already know this candle. We're gonna go over it in just a second. That's my mitigation zone, like same thing. So I see you, girl, same thing. Um, but we can all agree here, right? That from this low to this high, we're in an area where we should start to expect swings. Now, on the lower time frames, we are still right making, for example, on this 1 hour, we're in a 1 hour downtrend. Now we understand that this 1 hour downtrend, 4 hour downtrend, its whole purpose was to get us down here to this daily discount level, right? It doesn't mean that this is going to continue down, right? Its whole purpose of this whole downtrend was for it to get us here so that the daily can keep expanding if we're following the higher time frames, right? Now I'm still playing whatever the market is telling me until we see a change of direction, right? So these are all valid structure points, right? We looked at buy side valid structure. Here's a sell side valid structure, whereas like the 4 hour high, the 1 hour pullbacks in between, right? So this area that I sent out earlier is kind of like a, just to start the week off play, nothing crazy. It's a little 15-minute continuation to the downside, but we can all see this one candle to the upside, right? That swept all this previous liquidity. How much liquidity is this? This is uh about 2 days worth of liquidity that got swept on Friday, right? So all the way from Wednesday to Friday morning, we generated this buy side liquidity, right? A lot of people are thinking this is resistance, and it is, right? But what happens after enough people are inside the market? Manipulation, right? On a Friday. So this is kind of, when I went over earlier, this is what I'm expecting to happen on Monday and Tuesday, right? Some sort of or accumulation or distribution to happen, consolidation, so that on Wednesday with CPI, we're able to sweep some sort of liquidity, right? Just kind of using that as an example. But knowing the fact that we already swept the buy side liquidity and then immediately shifted character to the downside, right? So as soon as we poked that high, we came and closed below these bodies here, right? So that's our change of character. That gives us, and even also these bodies down here also got closed below, right? So that tells me because of manipulation, because we broke structure to the downside, we should still be fairly bearish. And I think my pending order just activated right there. It's a very small one, literally like I'm risking maybe 0.5% just because it's the start of the week, right? And I didn't expect it to get up here this soon, but I am going to play whatever the market's telling me, right? So you're going to see that this is kind of the same thing on Euro and on gold, right? So Bavik sent out EU Angela sent out gold, and they all look exactly like this, right? So remember what this looks like, right? 2 days of consolidation, a poke to take out the buy side liquidity, and then immediately ran to the sell side liquidity, right? Now we're getting that retracement inside of that 786, 886. We can see the imbalances on the smaller time frame. Now, again, this is a little bit earlier in the week than I would like this to play out, but it's happening, right? So that's GU. You guys have that. Euro, same thing, right? So this bigger rectangle is based off of like what I was talking about on GU on the higher time frames, right? So let's go daily, right? Structure on EU on the daily, right? Low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So this is actually a weekly structure point here, right? So from that low, right, all the way up to that high, we're already inside a pretty interesting zone here, right? So this is where I'm watching for accumulation, right? So on the lower end, on the lower time frame, right, I'm kind of playing this candle to continue to push to the downside. As you guys can see, all this liquidity that got ran, right? And then we shifted character to the downside. With the euro, there's actually a lot of open liquidity to the downside as well. So if you're playing this candle, you got a pretty clear target to the downside, right? Now, on the other end, right, because we're always aware of both ends, if we get if market actually closes above here and we start to actually look like we're going to go bullish, then let me zoom out a little bit and you guys tell me what this looks like, right? Especially at around a higher time frame point of interest area. This is exactly where we like to look for signs of accumulation, right? So does this or does this not starting to look like accumulation right at around like the valid higher time frame point, right? So if we do start to get a body close above this level, right, we're then going to expect a retracement to then play the upside. So just kind of, be aware. Side note for EU, the GBP imbalance for market open today was not filled, which is why I'm liking the sells because it's also going with the main trend. Cool. If anyone takes my EU, just a side note, I scalp Forex, slower time frame in and out. Bet. Yeah, the sell looks like a scalp, right? Just like Bavik said, we're looking for a reaction. Hopefully we can, come and test these lows. But if we do break to the upside, that's also favorable, right? It doesn't mean that, oh man, like we picked the wrong side of the market, like now we're sad and we're out the market. Like if this shows us that this is accumulation, then get ready because you're gonna be able to ride this, like imagine riding from this level all the way up to like yearly highs, right? Because you guys can see exactly where we're at, right? So that's euro. Same thing with AUD, NZD, like literally higher time frame, right? From on the daily, we're inside of that area where we're looking for possible buys. But on the smaller time frame, the price action is still telling us that we could push down. Here's that candle on AUD, right? Just like we saw on Euro and on GBP. But as you can see, AUD already ran through that candle, right? So maybe these are signs that Euro and GBP are not going to hold. But since this one's the first one that got ran through, then we like, as long as you're playing one of the laggers, right? You don't want to play one of the leaders. But the fact that AU and GU took a little bit longer to even get into this area, maybe now we can start to see that downside. Because look, even here, look at all this liquidity, right? So same kind of areas, on the higher time frame, especially same kind of price action on the lower time frames. But they all three of them are setting up in a different way, right? Like these two have very clear liquidity to the downside. EU and GU like just barely got there not too long ago, whereas AUD already ran through it. So same kind of thing, but just a little bit of a different environment, right? Does that make sense? So once you know like what your dollar bias is, then you're just looking at which one of these markets is going to give you the best possible setup. So for example, with GBP, with Euro, AUD, NZD, XAU, USD, I'm literally looking at the same exact setup, literally the same exact one. Is just which one is going to be the most the best one to play technically, right? So even on NUD, right? NZD, I'm sorry. I said NUD. Even here, we can already see that same thing, right? Daily. Now, the thing with this one, it hasn't yet reached that daily point of interest, right? Look at this low to this high. We haven't gotten down to that 786, 886, where these others have already gotten there, right? So since NUD still has a way to go down, maybe they all keep going down just a little bit, right? And then NUD is the last one to get down here. And then this is what will actually catch these buys on, right? So it takes definitely a little bit of experience to be able to kind of follow along with what I'm talking about, but I hope it's making sense. I'm trying to keep it very simple here, right? So with NZD, just playing with the price actions given us on Friday, this up candle swept this previous high and then immediately came in and changed character, right? We immediately came and broke beneath this low. So that tells us, we're in a bearish structure. If I'm measuring high to low, right, this candle is sitting above the 618. So it's in an area where we'd be looking to play the downside. And then on the sell side, look at all these equal lows right here, right? So this is an ideal, like this is probably like the most picture perfect one. I sent out a little bit of a lesson earlier with this markup right here, just because it looks very clean. Now, I mean, if I do say so. So this being the ideal entry setup, right? Look how far, like look how different this is from AUD, right? AUD already ran through this candle here, excuse me. And then this one, or actually no, this one is this area up here, right? So yeah, this is a 15-minute. This one is actually at its 15-minute, 30-minute candle right now. We'll see what it does off of there, right? Being this last up candle. All right, we'll see if we can get a reaction off of here. This is true support and resistance, family. I know you guys, have seen it in different ways, but if this is what supports you, this is the opposite of support, right? They want you to think that this is support, so that you can get liquidated. A real support and resistance is going to be the last up candle before a down move and the last down candle before an up move. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about if you know. But off of this, we'll see what happens off of this 15-minute candle. I'm not really expecting much from it. But if we do continue to push up, then we just wait for the next area, right? Which is this 1 hour setup, right? So what we look for here would be, if it's a 1 hour setup, the 15, the 5 are going to show us an uptrend up to that area. We're going to start to see the market slow down, right? At some point, we'll see a manipulation to take out all these early sellers, right? It's going to look like resistance. And people that, are trading off of this area, they're going to think, okay, cool, this is resistance. We're going to get that manipulation. We wait for the change of character. We wait for the retest of this level. Shout out to Vinny on here. We wait for the retest of this previous resistance level, right? For us to start to ride the wave down and target these lows down here, right? So that's basically what I'm looking at for this side of the market, right? The last setup I'm gonna go over is gold. I love gold, bro. I love gold. Same thing here, right? So daily structure, we can all agree. I mean, I don't know if y'all want me to zoom out more so you can believe me more, but right, pretty bullish, right? So low, high, higher low, higher high on the daily, right? These are all just one impulses on the daily. On the 4 hour, I'm looking at that range. I mean, I'll just on the daily just to be able to fit it in here, but off of this daily, we can already see that we're already below the 618 of this range, but we still have yet to kind of test down here, right? There's still a lot of imbalance. There's this last mitigation candle. So maybe this side of the market still plans on pushing down, right? If dollar still plans on being as bullish as it's been, this side of the market is going to keep moving down, right? So on the 4 hour, and a little bit of a counter trend. Well, I guess on the 1 hour really is where the counter trend is happening, right? Because this being my valid 4 hour structure down here, right? This 1 hour is showing this uptrend, right? It's showing a little bit of a counter trend to the upside with these higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Actually, I do want to point this out. So right? This pullback right here at some point was a valid 1 hour pullback, right? I mean, if you know the rules, you can go back test it yourself. But this at some point was a valid 1 hour pullback, right? So we get this last up push to the upside that taps us into 1950, takes out this buy side liquidity, right? So as soon as it does that, then it boom changes character to the downside, right? We got a body close. I'll zoom in just a little bit. I promise. I just don't want to lose my path tool right here right now. But as you can see, we got body closes below this previous structure, right? So remember, we're on the 1 hour. This is my structure that's forming this uptrend, this little counter trend. As soon as we got that last up push to take us into 1950, boom, right? We got that shift of character to the downside, right? So now we wait for the retest of this candle, which happened right there, right? And now, ever since we changed character here after this manipulation, we've been on a downtrend, right? Bunch of liquidity right here. Even more liquidity got built up right before that Friday news event. Institutional candle, right? Change of character. I know it. I know I got pretty fractal with it, but check this out, right? So if I'm already understanding that this was my valid here. Let me just replay just so I can show you real quick. Right. If I'm already understanding that the 4 hour is bullish, right? My range on the 4 hour would have been from this high down to this low, right? So once the 4 hour makes an expansion, what are we going to expect, right? A retracement down where? Beneath the 50, beneath the 618, right? So if that's what I'm expecting on the 1 hour, what's the 15 and the 5 going to show me, right? It's going to show me that downtrend that's going to take us down to those levels, right? And then this is where we'll kind of expect the opposite to happen. But we already see the change of character here, right? There's that body that got closed below, right? We see that first retest, right? That was the ideal entry. That was the best play, in my opinion, of last week. And it happened, I believe, on actually Sunday. Yeah, not even Monday. We tested back into this candle, and then we immediately proceeded to melt from there, right? So now this 1 hour is what gave us this retracement that we definitely needed on the 4 hour. But look where we're at right now on the 15, right? We understand that we want to come down into this point of interest area, right? This gray area right here based off of a 4 hour structure, right? So what's the 15-minute setting us up for here, right? And this is what Angela said just a second ago. There's that last up candle, right, with news on Friday, that last up candle to, swipe all this previous liquidity. And if we could see a test, you see where my alert was at. I think it just missed it, but if we could see a test, just a little bit higher inside this area, we start to see on the 15 a change of character to the downside. We wait for that retest of that level, right, to take us down here. Right now, on the bigger scale, this is nothing, right? This is not really much. Now, remember looking to possibly, where are we at? Like literally my overall target with gold would be all the way down here, right? So that is, more pips than you know what to do with. That's about 1,000 pips, for the swing. But even just like based off the 1 hour, right? Just off of, what could happen this week, right? We're looking at Sunday, we're looking at what could happen this specific week, right? I at least think we can test down into this area, right? So if we happen to hold that level on gold there, right? Let's just say, see if there's anything on the 15 or the 5. Yeah, let's just say we play off of this imbalance fill right here, right? Just for example, we go short position off of that level. That's about a 37, we'll just say 40 pip stop loss, which is very doable on gold. And we're playing all the way down here, right? So that's about almost a 5-1 just for us to be able to get down here, which could definitely happen this week. So as you guys can see, right, gold, NZD, USD on the 1 hour, right? AUD, USD a little bit higher as well. GBP USD. I mean, either we hold this 15-minute candle, right? Which I'm pretty sure my buy limit activated. I'll have to check just a second, but whether we hold this 15-minute candle, if we don't, I'm not gonna be sad, right? I promise. We got our next area. Like we got enough plays inside the market, right? So if this is an accumulation that is gonna take us up into this area, this is where I'll be playing my sells, right? Same thing for Euro and same thing for GBP. And that's pretty much it. I'm liking the XXX USD side of the market, right? So if we can continue to push up on gold, a lot of these plays are going to happen this week, and we're going to continue to push to the downside. But anyway, family, that's all the time I have as far as for this weekly outlook. I hope it's giving you at least a good idea what to look for, right? Not just going into the market on like a blank note and trying to see if it's willing to offer you some pips, some opportunities this week, but really forming a bias based off of like key areas, fundamental analysis, that kind of thing. Playing one side of the market versus the other, right? Playing the market structure, whether you're in a 4 hour, 1 hour, what to expect, and that kind of thing. So that's been it, right? That's it for me. I'll see you guys next week. Hop on to Will every single day this week, Monday through Friday. And before I go, guys, we have a leadership call right now at 8 p.m. It happens every single Sunday and is usually just for the leaders, right? This week, fam, I mean, I know you guys can see what's going on in Croatia, right? All the new company updates and all that kind of stuff. Junior said, yo, let everybody on this call. I'm going to break down literally every single update that just went down. He's excited. I mean, there's 7,000 people on that side of the world right now, literally like fired up about this stuff. I'm ready for it. So he's going to break all of it down, right? We have new packages. We have new tools that are going to come with those packages. Even the platform just got an update, right? It looks sick. You got the midnight mode, and just an overall experience for you guys to be able to take your trading to that next level, even faster, right? And even more professional and even a more pleasurable way. So we're truly part of the best company. I'm not just saying that, you know what I mean? If you guys could show me a better opportunity, I'll be happy to listen. But as far as I know, we're in the right place, right? So hop on this call, fam. Everybody's invited, learn about your new tools, right? Learn about, the new things your business has to offer, right? Who wouldn't want that? So make sure you guys hop on there. If you don't have the link, you know what I mean, ask me for it. I could definitely send it to you, but I'm sure it'll be in one of those group messages or chats that you're in. But anyway, family, have a profitable week. Have a blessed week. If you guys got anything for me, let me know. And I'll see you guys next week. Love y'all. Peace out.